Hello, welcome to Scorpio season, and this video is about the new moon that's happening 27 October, 8:38 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have the sun and moon together at 4 degrees Scorpio in direct opposition to Uranus. And this is the main thing I want to talk about in this video. First, let's look at new moon. New moon point is the beginning of a lunar cycle, and the sun has been in Scorpio for a few days. Scorpio relates to the part of us that is intense, deep, sensual, that part of us that in our current culture has really been the forbidden, and witches and shamans, mystics, everything that deals with intense manipulation of energy and really being in tune with the vibration of the earth. So Scorpio is a water sign. It's like, I call it fire water. I think of Scorpio as fire water because it has this spiky heat with it. Sensuality is really related to Scorpio. The new moon is giving us a start to a new lunar cycle, and every month the sun and moon will come together, and this starts a new lunar cycle. The sun has been in Scorpio for a few days, so we're already kind of getting a taste of the Scorpio vibes. So every time the sun changes signs, I call this getting into costume. So last month we were in Libra costume. So getting into character of Libra and exploring that part of ourself, which is relational, wanting to be in relation to the other. Scorpio season, we are really drawing inward and getting really intimate. Intimacy is a Scorpio word. Getting intimate with our own inner reality, with our own physical bodies, our emotions, our feelings. And there will be things happening, especially at the kickoff with the new moon in opposition to Uranus. There will be things that give us the opportunity to feel the depth of our own being. So, talked a little bit about Scorpio. Now what I want to talk about is the polarity of, first of all, let's talk about the sky being a representation of light, of the father sky is what we've called the sky in our culture. Father sky, and then we have Mother Earth. And so above is light, and it is related with spirit. Below we have the earth, which is dark and related to matter or mother, related to the feminine principle. So this polarity, when it comes together, bringing together light and dark, bringing together masculine and feminine, we have, every time we bring together a polarity, some duality that, two opposite things, they're not really opposite, they're a side of the spectrum. When you bring those two together, we have, I call these a big bang. There's like little big bangs happening all the time when we bring opposition together, when we bridge that polarity. So every time the sun and moon come together, they are in the same sign. So we're getting to harmonize that sign and the element that sign represents, while bridging together the sun, which also represents light, which represents a masculine principle, heat, and the moon, which represents a feminine principle of dark. And it's so this is just a basic. I'm just kind of summarizing. There's so many subtleties with this whole principle. What I want to mention, though, is that we are at a new moon point, bringing together these two parts of ourself, the mystery of the moon and the feminine mysteries. And we're bringing the mystery of the sun, and it's, it's a luminary and illuminating. So we're bringing those two things together, and we're having a mini Big Bang when this happens. And especially when you're tuned into it, I like to know the exact time of that conjunction, because at that time or around that time, I'll tune in mentally and physically with my body to the energies of the sun and moon. And just opening up a space, allowing whatever comes through when I'm riding my breath into the cosmos. So speaking of that, that is a tantric yoga technique. Scorpio is the sign most related to Tantra yoga. The polarity of Scorpio, the other end is Taurus. This polarity is the axis of fully embodying life, our physical bodies, that's Taurus, and fully embodying the end of life, the withdrawal of the senses into, that moment when you fall asleep and you forget your body and you experience this other reality. Or when you are having an orgasm and there's a moment that you kind of don't breathe. And then, you come back. Actually, the French call it the little death. I don't know how to say it in French, but it translates to the little death or the small death, something like that. So Scorpio represents that. So with this polarity, we are learning about these mysteries this month. So let's look at this opposition with Uranus, who is in Taurus currently at 4 degrees. So when the sun and moon come together in Scorpio, now that's already an intense thing that is meant to be bringing us this feeling of like fully being drawn into our body sensations, getting intimate with our own physical body and with our thoughts about our physical body. When you have a feeling about something in the body, there'll be a mental like, oh, that's anxiety. Oh God, now you have anxiety. When you do that, you just keep repeating this kind of cycle, a little pattern that goes on in your body. When you're able to just notice what you're feeling in your body and not give it a name, not have your mind have to go call it something, you just sit with a sensation that's in your body. Now, a lot of times when I experience anxiety, it's right where my diaphragm is, and it gets really tight, and it feels, so if I say, oh, I'm experiencing anxiety, that just kind of ends the conversation with my body. But if I can get into that spot and like, oh, wow, and I can feel how it, what's happening within my physical body, and then I'll breathe into it, and I'll allow that to shift around and move. And the experience is completely different now. This is intimacy with the body. This is Scorpio season. So, now when we have this in opposition to Uranus is the change agent. It's meant to bring sudden and unexpected changes to keep us on our toes and to flip the script on our regularly scheduled programming. So the thing I was just mentioning about, oh, I have anxiety and now I'm, and you keep doing this thing with it. We all do it. These patterns of thought, feeling, emotion, thought, feeling, emotion, feeling, thought. It just keeps going. With Uranus in opposition, the way I'm seeing this is like coming in and shifting everything. So that could happen through events. An event comes up that I've been calling this material. The material in my life that's coming up right now. So whatever material is coming up is what the thing is. This is, the mundane life is really our spiritual initiations. We don't live anymore in times of tribes where we had temple rites and initiations with tribal elders. Your life material is your initiation process. So what's happening, what's coming up in your life right now, this is your initiation. So take it fully. Maybe absolutely nothing is going on personally in your life that is going to shift your assemblage point. Maybe you're not having like a direct initiation that you're going through. Maybe it's somebody in your friend circle or your intimate people in your life that they're going through it. And so you're maybe holding the hand of somebody who's going through something that's shifting their assemblage point, their set point of normal reality. And in that case, you still are getting an initiation, but of a different kind, as being somebody who's willing to walk through those gates of traumatic or ecstatic, the ecstasy of those life-changing events that, even though it could be either thing, the traumatic or the ecstatic, it's a pole. It's still a polarity. Maybe you're walking through with somebody going through that material. So now you're being initiated in a sort of way of being able to support somebody going through. And so just depending on what's being passed on your chart. So between this axis of Uranus and Sun and Moon, if you have, say you have Chiron at 4 or 5 degrees Taurus, that would be activating that part of you. That part of your chart is being lit up by this Sun-Moon configuration with Uranus. So look at your chart, the house position, and also look at what planets that you have there. Is it on your ascendant? Is it on your midheaven or your descendant? Look at the 4 corners and see what's going on in your life. Most importantly, don't even worry about that. Most importantly, just be there for your life. Show up with your full self. One of the situations that I'm going through currently with holding the hand of people who are going through things, not giving the details of that, but the words that came out of my mouth were, oh yeah, this is intense. And let's take a deep breath. Let's keep breathing. And let's handle this shit with love and responsibility that we have to this situation and this person in the situation. So that's sort of my today, what's coming in my mind as like an anchor. Some words that can anchor are just keep breathing, take deep breaths, breathe all the way down into the pelvic bowl. And exhale fully. And let's handle shit with love and responsibility. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed, and please feel free to leave comments, ask any questions. I'm going to be on this Scorpio wave. I have another video coming up talking about Mercury retrograde, which is happening on the 31st. We've been in the shadow phase since the 11th of October. So we've already starting to get some ideas about the Mercury material that's coming up. So I will be very active on my YouTube channel for Scorpio season, seeing that it is one of the more challenging bits of life material to go through, because it is the place in our culture that we have been afraid of. We've been hiding from this mystery of the hidden realms, which Scorpio represents. So let's talk about this, and thank you so much. I look forward to connecting with you soon.